In another first for this channel, today I'm going to drive the first UK spec Citroen Ami in the country. If you've been following my Citroen Ami story, you will know that I placed the order for the first one in the country. This is not my car, but Citroen UK have invited me to their head office here in Coventry to drive this, the first UK spec Ami to arrive. The first thing the eagle-eyed among you will notice is that this is no base model. This is the Pop with the black trim on the front. Got the spoiler on the back for increased downforce in case you want to go racing. Got their hot racing decals on the side. Got everything you want, really. A little bit higher spec than the one I've ordered, but it does have all the stuff in it from the Orange as well. So it'll be good to have a closer look at what will actually be arriving when my car arrives later this month. So here we are in a UK spec Ami for the first time. In fact, in any Ami for the first time, because I haven't had the chance to even see one, let alone drive one, despite being the first in the UK to order one. I had that much faith in it. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I don't need to see one, don't need to drive one. Let's get the order done, let's do it. And that's exactly what I've done. But to see it for the first time, it is just amazing. And the first thing you notice is, for a small car, and don't get me wrong, this is a small car, it is huge in here. I think it helps that the driver's seat is basically positioned right over the back axle. I mean, I'm miles away from the windscreen here, but it is massive. It's awesome. I mean, I know I'm a big guy, but I fit in here just fine. I mean, me and my passenger, we need to be quite friendly, I think, but I'm in here, it's all good. I got loads of room. It's absolutely spot on. So, I mean, if you've seen any of the reviews, you've seen all this before, really. It's identical to the French version. You turn the key to start, you have the gear selector down here by the side of your seat, you switch into drive, and you take the handbrake off. And we're off! It is just brilliant. I think if you're watching this, you already know what you're getting, but let's summarise. A two-seat electric quadricycle, 5.5 kilowatt hour battery, 46 miles range WLTP. I've been messing around with this one a little bit this morning and it shows 42 miles left with a very high state of charge showing on the thing, so I think that's probably right enough. If you opt for the base model, that's pretty much it. You get a steering wheel, some pedals, a couple of seats which are a little bit hard, but you know, panoramic roof is standard. Got the 2CV style windows that everybody bangs on about, and that will be pretty much all you'll be getting for your £7,695. Move up the range a little bit and you can add one of the colour packs. It's an extra 400 quid, and that is what I've ordered the Ami Orange. And that gives you all the orange stuff in the cabin that we can see here. You can also order the blue, the khaki or the grey, which gives you the same stuff just in a different colour. So that gives you these trays at the front, gives you the bag hook, gives you the nets in the doors, gives you the mats, and just makes it a little bit easier to live with. Second cup holder, you've got a cup holder as standard behind your speedometer though. For 8,495 you can have the Pop, which is this model I'm driving now. It has the spoiler for that added downforce, which I'm sure is absolutely crucial with a top speed of 28 miles an hour. It gives you the stickers on the side, the sort of racing decals on the side. Gives you the black trim on the front and the black trim on the rear, and you know, just adds that little bit of touch of style if that's what you're after. The range topper is the Vibe, and we'll get some photos of that on the screen for you to have a look at that. Comes with the roof rails, which I believe are decorative only, taking a leaf out of MG's book there. These are a lot of the same stuff as the Pop, but you trade that spoiler for the roof rails, and then it has a bit more of the exterior trim, and it just looks a little bit fancier, tells everybody that you're the big dog. and that is 8,995 for that one. And I think they will sell a big mix of these. I think some people will say, well, you know, if I'm spending 8 grand on a toy, I might as well spend 9 grand and get all the stuff with it. Some people will say, well, the base model is the only one that makes sense because it's, you know, it's utilitarian, it should be basic, and I think that's very much up to you. It's got that real proper, a little bit like the Kangoo ZE, you can really hear the drivetrain. It sounds a little bit like it's in pain when you accelerate, and it's just brilliant. And it's, you know, it's brisk enough. Not to 20. Mike, one thing I've noticed is the windows are both shut. I don't think I had them fully open. Never had a 2CV, so not familiar with the windows. Everybody keeps banging on about how it's a spiritual successor to the 2CV just because it's got the same windows. But it is roasting today, by the way. The lack of aircon here is very evident. It's in excess of 30 degrees outside, and it feels it, especially with this big panoramic roof above me, which the camera is actually mounted to. Seems to work really well for this. And, it's like it was made for it. And I mean, you've got everything you need in here. Indicators, lights, horn works. Oh, it's quite loud as well. And the turning circle's quite good too. Watch this. There's famous words, watch this. I mean, maybe not do that too quickly because you know what happened on 5th gear.
Feels like it's about to roll.
Wait for it.
Wow! Wow! Oh my god!
Did you see that? That was on 2 wheels then.
But it turns. I mean, it's brilliant. It is just absolutely fantastic. Buy one now. Order one right now. Let's take a quick look at the UK specific features that you'll not find on the French version. There's a lot of questions being asked, so hopefully this will address the 2 big ones. First of all, yes, the speedometer is in miles per hour as you would expect. I'm not sure if it can be switched back to kilometres or not, but then I can't imagine many people will be going on pan-European adventures in a Citroen Ami. Next up is the big one on everybody's mind, and that is charging. It comes with exactly the same 2-pin European plug as any other Ami does, and a Type 2 adapter that allows it to be plugged into a typical untethered EV charger. It's a nice, neat and tidy solution, and I can confirm that the cable with the adapter on the end fits in the hole where the cable goes, so it's nice and tidy and you'll not lose the adapter if it's stuck on the end of the cable. I tested it out using the charger on site at Citroen's UK HQ, and it worked absolutely perfectly. There's 2 switches on the adapter that simulate the signal sent from the car to lock and unlock the cable and to request power from the charge point. Absolutely spot on. A lot of you will be asking if you can still charge from a 3-pin socket at home. The official line is that Type 2 is how Ami is to be charged in the UK, and that anything else wouldn't conform to regulations. What you do in the comfort of your own home is between you and your insurance company, of course, but I would exercise caution. Just now time to hit the public road for the first time in the Citroen Ami. The eagle-eyed among you might notice that this is not the same car I was in earlier. Unfortunately, because the UK press cars have literally just arrived in the country, they're not actually 100% road legal and ready to go yet. So this car that I'm in is one of the original French press cars, which you've seen loads of people drive. This is the very car that Alex from Car Throttle parked in the trolley bay at the Asda just down the road.
Here we go. First time it? Go on, go on, go on, go on. Look at this. Oh, it's brilliant. Excellent, excellent.
But for all intents and purposes, it's exactly the same in terms of how it drives. So let's get going, shall we? I had enough fun in the car park, so I'm not sure. I definitely don't need to take a test drive to see if I want one, because I think we've definitely confirmed that. But what is it like on the road? Can we get it up to its maximum 28 miles per hour?
Many hours later.
Oh, yes we can! 45 kilometers per hour and it stops accelerating. And the acceleration seems fine. It's not like super fast off the mark like some EVs are, but it certainly seems adequate. It gets you there. Just a shame it runs out of puff when it does. It feels like the motor's got a bit more to give. I do wonder. I'm sure some enterprising individual will find a way to make it go slightly faster. Not that I'm sure your insurance or warranty will be very happy with you if you do, but it feels like there's definitely a little bit more in there. A little bit of a bumpy ride. I think you, once you start driving at its sort of top speeds, you remember that it's not a car, and I think that's very key to remember. It's a quadricycle, it's not a car. If you think of it like a motorbike, but that you don't get wet whilst driving and can actually, you know, have a tiny bit of comfort, I think that is much more accurate. If you're expecting a car levels of comfort, car levels of refinement, you are going to be disappointed. It certainly attracts attention everywhere it goes. Just driving down just a normal residential street, and anybody that sees me is stopping and staring. I mean, I don't think you'd get this much attention in a Ferrari as you do in the Ami. It's funny though, because everybody seems to have a smile on their face. They might be laughing at me, but it seems to brighten people's days just seeing it, which is awesome, really. And now we're actually heading into Coventry city centre, and it's a 20. I mean, this car is absolutely made for this. It's exactly what it's made for. No stress at all, no drama. So I've just stopped at the supermarket car park. I've probably done 10 miles or so roughly, bumbling around Coventry. I was trying to film and drive at the same time, but it takes all your concentration. I think especially if you're driving on sort of 40 mile an hour or faster roads, you've got to be very aware of the traffic around you, because you are a very slow moving vehicle, and you've got to be aware that you've got to just sort of have your wits about you. But I braved that the Coventry ring road didn't die. I'm still smiling. It's still absolutely fantastic. Comfort? No. Refinement? No. Performance? No. Street cred, depending on who you ask, probably no. But is it the most fun you can have on four wheels? Absolutely, 100%. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm not even sure the lack of power is that big a deal. Even on the ring roads, obviously traffic doing 40 plus, people not really sticking to the speed limit. It was alright. People sort of stayed out of my way, and it's almost, I mean, I don't know, maybe people of Coventry are used to seeing these bumbling around, but it was absolutely fine. You know, as long as you got your wits about you, it's not that bad. A lot of people are like, oh, it's really dangerous, but it's absolutely fine. And the rest of the time, when you're in 30 mile an hour zones, you're in 20 mile an hour zones, it's fine. I found myself actually trying to make the most of the performance, and you find yourself up someone's because they're going really slowly. With it being an EV with a sort of instant torque, I mean, it's not a fast car by any means, but you do actually find that it's got more than enough performance to get you where you need to be. One person asked about speed bumps. How does it handle speed bumps? And I mean, it crashes around. It's not particularly comfortable, and you definitely want to slow down, which you should do anyway, of course. You shouldn't be, firing over speed bumps as fast as you can. And you certainly know they're there, but I imagine it's a very similar story on a motorbike. Well, I suppose some speed bumps on a motorbike, you can go through the middle of them, but if they're the ones that are all the way across the road, I imagine it's a very similar story. Slow down, accept the fact that it'll be a little bit different to going over a speed bump in a Mercedes S-Class, and you'll be fine. So that was the first drive of a UK spec Citroen Ami, and then a sort of road test in one of the old French ones. I don't think I need to say it again, but I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait now for my actual car to arrive. I'm sure you'll enjoy the 15-mile journey home from the dealer on national speed limit roads, even if I don't. I'd like to say a massive thanks to Citroen UK for inviting me along for this test drive. I had a great time, and it was an absolute pleasure. I'd also like to thank you all for watching. You make stuff like this possible, and I definitely couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.